Finally, we shall review the levels of prevention. I consider prevention to be a primary nursing intervention that focuses on keeping stressors and the stress response from having a detrimental effect on the body. There are 3 levels of prevention: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary prevention occurs before the system reacts to a stressor. It strengthens the person and their primary flexible level of defense to enable them to better deal with stressors. This includes health promotion and maintenance of wellness. Secondary prevention occurs after the system has reacted to a stressor and is provided in terms relative to the existing system. It focuses on preventing damage to the central core by strengthening the internal lines of resistance and/or removing the stressor. Finally, tertiary prevention. This occurs after the system has been treated through secondary prevention strategies. It offers support to the client and attempts to add energy to the system or reduce energy needed in order to facilitate reconstitution. Now we'll look at the model so that you can have a visual tool to put it all together. This model comes from an original diagram from the original tool developed in 1970. Please read, review, and take time to reflect. This tool is for you to help integrate the definitions that we've just reviewed, and I'm sure you'll be referring back and forth to. This, figure 1, is a diagram representing a taxonomy, so it's the practical application of the model and strategy. Assumptions and propositions. Originally in 1974, I presented assumptions related to my systems model. However, I have since relabeled them as propositions. The first is each person is a unique system with a range of responses. Many known, unknown, and universal environmental stressors exist. A person's equilibrium can be disturbed by system stressors and result in instability. The nature of stressors may affect the extent to which a person may use their FLD. Over time, persons evolve a normal range of responses, which there is the NLD. FLD is a reaction system to be used against stressors. When the FLD cannot protect against a stressor, the stressor upsets the individual's equilibrium. Each individual's internal resistant lines attempts to stabilize the individual and return the person to their baseline normal. Wellness or illness is a dynamic composite of interrelationships between the person's physiological, psychological, sociocultural, and developmental states. Primary prevention is an attempt to identify and allay risk factors associated with stressors and prevent them from penetrating the FLD, thus preventing activation of the stress response. Secondary prevention relates to symptoms and intervention strategies, enhances wellness, and decreasing stress. Tertiary prevention relates to adaptation as reconstitution proceeds. And finally, the client as a system is a dynamic, constant energy exchange within the environment. By supporting strengths of the client system and conserving their energy, as nurses, we can increase their level of wellness. As we move on to application, we're going to review its relevance in research and practice. My model has been used in over 100 research system-based studies nationally and internationally. It's been published nationally and internationally in journal articles, book chapters, doctoral dissertations, and master's theses. In addition, it's been presented at numerous conferences. It guides a broad range of studies and has been designed to be used across disciplines to examine qualitative, quantitative, correlative, and quasi-experimental studies. It primarily has been applied to investigate sensitive social political trends, such as healthcare reform, rural healthcare, primary prevention for elderly, families of young children, and home caregivers. My model provides a broad organizational framework that is necessary to incorporate all the advances in healthcare, knowledge, and technologies as we enter the 21st century. With regards to practice, my model has a wide breadth and flexibility that contributes to the client's well-being as it facilitates the highest possible health condition achievable at any given point in time thus advancing nursing practice. My model has led to the development of assessment tools, diagnostic taxonomy from the previous slide, documentation formats, and nursing care plans. It remains relevant in the 21st century as healthcare reform and evidence-based practice flourishes. This is because my model is focused on holistic health perspectives, client perceptions involving the client in their healthcare decisions, concern for family, and primary nursing prevention interventions to retain and support optimal client system wellness. The three-step nursing process encourages the nurse to approach the patient by way of the three preventions as the basis for nursing interventions. If you would like more information on nursing diagnosis, nursing goals, and nursing outcomes as it pertains to my theory, please refer to the 5th edition of my book, which was co-edited by Jacqueline Fawcett. In closing, I'd like to say that I appreciate your time, and I hope that you will take a moment and review the closing remarks that I was unable to include in my PowerPoint, but I have attached for your enjoyment. Thank you ever so much for your attention.